A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
In just a moment, Suspense with Ida Lupino.
Phew, what a night.
Yeah, it's a scorcher, Dad.
You're lucky we thought of coming to the firehouse. And we had to sit around at that hen party your mother's giving. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Ab.
Say, you fellas want to put out a fire tonight. All you've got to do is turn the hoses on and squirt them anywhere.
Yep, it's hotter than Hades. We're all sitting here listening to the radio.
Dad, I wonder if they're listening to the Autolite show.
What are you hearing, Mike?
We're just switching to Autolite. Besides, we like their batteries, spark plugs, and ignition systems around here.
Everyone does. And everyone likes their show, Suspense.
Oh, here's the show.
Suspense.
Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Miss Ida Lupino in a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Today, everybody's switching to Autolite. And tonight, Autolite takes pleasure in presenting
Anton Leader's production of Ray Bradbury's remarkable story, Summer Night, starring Miss Ida Lupino.
Is the line still busy? I just don't see how it could still be.
Oh, it isn't the line, Miss McCauley. It's the circuit. I've been simply swamped all afternoon. I haven't been able to get a call through to the police station for over an hour, and the mayor's office has been busy.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry to trouble you, but it's terribly important.
Well, if you want to hang on, Miss McCauley, I'll try again in a minute.
Oh, all right.
It's been this way ever since the news got out about finding poor Lavinia. You heard about it, I suppose.
Yes.
Oh, just a minute, Miss McCauley. I got another call. Yes, this is the operator. No, I'm sorry. That line is still busy. Yes, I'll call you just as soon as I can give you a connection. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss McCauley, but you see what I mean? Oh, dear.
Oh, Miss Welsh, by the way...
It was bad enough last week when they found that other poor girl, but this time the whole town is on its ear, and I can't say that I blame them, what with a maniac loose and nobody knowing who...
Yes, I meant to ask you, Miss Welsh. Are they sure that Lavinia... that it was the same thing as the web girl last week?
Why, yes. Why, I thought you knew.
I just knew she'd been found.
Oh, goodness, yes. There was never any doubt about it. Whoever it was, he used a knife just like on the other girl. And then there was that same crazy cross on a forehead, made with orange lipstick. That's why they're calling him, the lipstick killer.
Oh, yes. As I thought it must be that. But I wasn't sure. I didn't know.
Oh, yes, they're looking all over the state for him by now. But, of course, they don't have much to go on. And the chances are that he's right here in this town anyway. Oh, I'll try to get your call for you now, Miss McCauley.
Thank you.
Oh. I'm sorry, Miss McCauley. That circuit is still busy.
But it can't...
Well, why don't I call you back when I get through? It shouldn't be very long.
All right. But please try to hurry it. It's really important. Terribly important. While I was waiting for the call, I went to the front door to start locking up. It was coming on evening, a warm summer evening, and ordinarily up and down the street the windows would be open, all but mine, and you'd hear the sound of a piano or a radio drifting out onto the still summer air, and people would be sitting in swings and hammocks on their front porches, enjoying the coolness at the end of the day. But not on this day. Not this evening. I locked my door, too. I went around the big, gloomy old house, checking all the windows, just like the others. Not that I needed to, really. They'd been locked ever since Father died. And he went away. All in that one terrible week nearly 4 years ago. Yes, they'd been locked, and I hadn't left the house more than half a dozen times, and nobody had come here. Why should they? I didn't want to see them. nor they me. I was the town's queer one. But all that was going to be different now. From now on, everything was going to be very, very different. Yes.
I'm
Hello.
at your party now, Miss McCauley. Go ahead, please.
Oh.
Hello?
Oh, Helen, is that you?
Yes, who's this?
It's Anna. Anna McCauley.
Why, Anna. Why, what a surprise.
How have you been, Helen?
Oh, just fine. You know, there's nothing ever the matter with me. But how are you, Anna?
Oh, I'm well. You know, I've been living rather quietly these last few years.
Yes, I know. I mean, I'd heard.
It's been a long time, hasn't it, Helen?
Why, yes. I haven't heard your voice for, well, how long has it been?
Nearly 4 years.
Has it?
3 years and 11 months this week, to be exact.
Oh, that long has it? Well, it doesn't seem possible, and we were such good friends.
Helen, I hope you don't think. I mean, those last few times you called and I didn't answer.
Oh, darling, of course not. I knew how you must be suffering, your father passing on so suddenly that way, and you'd always been so close. I wouldn't have even bothered you at such a time, only that we'd been such good friends, and I thought maybe I could help. And then, of course, I heard later anyway that, well, that is,
Yes, I suppose you must have heard some rather strange things about me, Helen.
Oh, not strange, dear, no. But we all knew you wanted to be alone in your grief, and we respected that feeling naturally.
I know. But sometimes I've been afraid people didn't quite understand, though.
Of course they did. Well, darling, now that you're back in the world again, so to speak, you must come over and see me. I'm staying with my mother now, but you know that anyway.
Yes. Helen.
Yes, dear.
Helen, it wasn't just an accident, my calling you this way.
Well, I should hope not.
I want to ask you a favor. A tremendous favor.
Why, of course, darling, anything.
I want you to come over here to the house.
I should say I would. I'll try to make it Friday or early next week at the latest, just as...
No, I don't mean just sometime, Helen. I mean now. Right now. Right this minute.
Now?
Yes.
But, darling, I don't see how I can. I mean, I don't know what Mother's plans are.
Helen, you know I wouldn't ask if it wasn't serious.
Serious? What do you...
Please say you'll come.
Well, I'll try.
No, don't just try, Helen. Come. You've got to come.
Oh, darling, what is this? What can be so serious?
Maybe I'm being silly, but I think it's more than serious, Helen. I think it may be a matter of life and death.
Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Miss Ida Lupino in Summer Night. Autolite's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
You know, Dad, boy, Mom would sure get a kick out of this.
Out of what, Billy?
We leave home because she's got the house full of women, and so far there aren't anything but women in tonight's Autolite show.
Well, if she's listening, we'll certainly hear about it when we get home from the firehouse. Oh, say, Mike, what's over on that workbench?
But over there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, them's old batteries. We're replacing them with new Autolite staples.
When your spark plug stutters, when your battery putters.
Switching to Autolite, eh, Mike?
No, we've been using Autolite for over 10 years now. You know, when you got to get out of here in 7 seconds after the alarm sounds, you got to have the surest, safest batteries there are. When we got to go, we go.
Yes, the new Autolite Stay Full battery is a great battery. Needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. This greater liquid reserve practically eliminates one of the major causes of battery failure. Car owners tell us it's the greatest battery ever built. The greatest battery ever built. Money cannot buy a better battery for your car.
Yep, that's real battery know-how. Once water goes into an Autolite Stay Full, it's like going into a camel. The drinks are few and far between.
Yeah, and even on nights as hot as this, you don't find the Autolite Stay Full at an old oaken bucket.
So, friends, see your friendly neighborhood Autolite battery dealer and order the new Autolite Stay Full battery for your car. It needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Remember, folks, Autolite means battery, stay full battery. Autolite means spark plug, ignition engineer spark plugs. Autolite means ignition system, the lifeline of your car.
Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Miss Ida Lupino as Anna in Summer Night, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
A matter of life and death, I told her. I knew Helen would come to see me after that. It would be strange seeing her again. Not that we'd ever quarreled. She never even suspected, of course. But after that day when he went away with her, I'd simply put her out of my life and never thought of her again. Well, to be strictly truthful, I thought of her a great deal. But in a rather different way than I had before when she'd been my best friend. And now she was coming to my house again. After all these years. It should be interesting. Quite like a surprise party for both of us.
Anna, darling.
Helen, come in.
Oh, it's so nice to see you.
It's good to see you again, Helen.
Why, you haven't changed a bit. You don't look a day older. Now, tell me all about it. I can't stay but a few minutes. Ted Barton drove me over. You remember Ted.
Oh, yes.
And he's got to be back before 7, but never mind that now. Darling, what is the matter?
Helen, I'm frightened.
Frightened? Of what?
I'm afraid I'm going to be killed.
Going to be killed?
Yes, tonight.
But, darling...
You see, I used to know poor Lavinia. I used to know her quite well. And the other girl, well, I didn't know her, but it happened to her right near here, in the little woods just beyond the track.
Anna, please, dear, what on earth makes you think anything like that could happen to you? You're perfectly safe if you don't go out. Lock the door.
No, I'm not. I'm all alone here, Helen. And there's been someone prowling at night.
A man?
Last night he tried to get in.
Are you sure?
I heard him trying the doors, the windows.
Well, did you call the police?
No, I was afraid to. Oh, Helen, I didn't know who to turn to but you. Everyone thinks I'm crazy anyway.
Oh, Anna, dear, that's ridiculous. Well, we'll call them right now.
No, it'll be all right after tonight. I know it will. Please, I just want you to stay with me tonight.
Stay with you?
Please, Helen, just this one night. I can't ask anyone else. I don't have any friends anymore.
But, darling, I don't even have any nightclothes.
Oh, I'd already thought of that, Helen. I have everything you need for tonight.
Well, I don't have anything for the morning. No face cream, not even a...
Why worry about that now? Maybe neither of us will even be here by morning.
Oh.
So she said she'd stay. Went out and told Ted Barton. Ted Barton. It was typical of Helen. Only 2 weeks back from Cleveland, and already she had the county's most eligible bachelor squiring her around in his car. But that was going to be different, too. I fixed a little supper for both of us, and then we tried all the doors and windows. And then there was nothing to do but sit and talk to her until it was time to go to bed.
No more, thank you.
Afraid it will keep you awake, Helen?
I'm afraid I won't need coffee to keep me awake. Anna, is it true? I mean what they say about these murders.
Is what true?
Well, I mean...
You've been out in the world, Helen, more than I have lately. You should know more than I.
Oh, well, all I meant was... Well, you seem so frightened. I thought you might have heard something special.
No.
Is it true about the lipstick?
Why not?
Oh, it sounds so crazy. I thought it might be just something the newspapers made up.
There was a cross on there for it. In lipstick. Orange lipstick.
Anna, you do know something.
Don't be ridiculous, Helen. How could I?
But lipstick, Anna. Do you suppose perhaps it isn't a man at all? It's a woman. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. Did I do that?
No. Well, come along, Helen. It's time to go to bed.
Oh, yes. I suppose we might as well.
You don't mind sleeping in the same room with me, do you?
Why, of course not, dear. Oh, shouldn't you leave on a light downstairs?
No. Didn't do any good last night.
Oh. Well, I must say I don't blame you for being a little frightened, staying here all alone. Rather a gloomy old place, isn't it?
Oh, I don't think so. It's always been like this. It's the way Father liked it.
What about your mother?
I hated my mother.
Oh, Anna.
Well, it's true. Why not say it?
But your own mother.
What does that matter? Everyone has to have someone to hate, Helen. Enough to kill them sometimes.
Oh, and I don't think that's true. How can you say that everyone...
Well, this is our room.
Why, it's
what?
It's charming. It's so different from the rest of the house.
Yes. This was to be my bridal room, if I'd ever married.
Darling, I didn't know... Well, I didn't know you'd ever thought...
It was a long time ago. What's the news of Charles?
Charles? Well, there just isn't any. You knew we were separated, didn't you?
Yes. What was the trouble, Helen?
Oh, I don't know. After the first year, he simply became impossible, that's all. You remember, even as a child, he was sometimes wild.
Strange. Oh, yes. Yes, he and I were always the queer ones.
Why, whatever do you mean?
Strange, different, a little apart from all of you somehow. Not quite right, I think they say about me now.
Oh, Anna, you're imagining that. No one ever said such a thing.
No?
Of course not.
What about Charles?
Nothing. He just left, that's all. Haven't even heard from him in 6 months.
Are you sure it was all his fault, Helen? Perhaps if he married someone else.
Oh, you know there was never anyone else for Charles. That's the funny part of it. Of course, he liked other girls. He liked you.
Yes.
Well, you're certainly lucky he didn't marry you. I don't know what happened towards the end. It just went from bad to worse. It got so I hated the very sight of him.
I told you. Everyone had to have someone to hate.
Oh, I didn't really mean
Are
that.
you sure, Helen? Haven't you ever hated anyone?
Oh, perhaps as a little girl I thought I did.
You hated me, didn't you?
Why, darling, I never...
There were some times when I hated you, too.
Oh, I don't believe it. Children can't really...
Can't they? When an ugly little girl like me sees a pretty little girl like you getting everything she wants all through her life.
Well, not exactly everything.
You could always twist the teachers around your finger. Later it was the same with the boys. And finally, Charles. Just because you were pretty.
Oh, maybe I was a little prettier than you, dear, but you were always the clever one.
Yes. Yes, I was the clever one.
Well, I suppose we really should go to bed. Why, Anna, look at this. I didn't know you used lipstick.
I don't. It's just one a young cousin of mine left here several months ago.
Oh, well, that's funny. Do you know what color it is, Anna?
What color is it, Helen?
It's orange.
No. Helen wasn't very clever. It amused me to watch her trying to think. Putting two and two together. And not being able to because she was afraid of her own conclusions. Because she was essentially a hypocrite, like everyone else. If she hadn't been, it might have saved her life. It was sometime in the middle of the night. I don't know exactly what time because it didn't matter. But Helen was sleeping as soundly as a silly child when I went over to the side of her bed and began shaking. Helen, wake up.
Oh, what is it?
Shh, don't make a sound.
Anna, what's the matter?
He's in the house downstairs.
Who?
I don't know. Whoever it was last night, he's gotten in somehow.
Are you sure?
I heard him. I've been listening for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, Anna, what are we going to do?
We've got to get out of the house before he starts upstairs.
But how can we? He'll hear us. We'll be caught.
We'll go down the back stairs and out through the kitchen. We can go through the back lot, over the tracks to Judge Brown's house. It's not far, but we've got to hurry.
Oh, Anna, I'm frightened. What if he hears us?
Won't he? We're careful, and if we hurry, the door between the kitchen and the front of the house is locked.
Are you sure he isn't in the kitchen?
In the front, I tell you, I heard him. Now, get up, Helen. We've got to go right now.
All right.
Hold my hand.
Yes.
While I unlock the door, the back stairs are just to the right after we get out in the hall.
Oh, Anna.
Come along. Hold on to my hand and try not to make any noise. Here are the stairs. Just follow me.
Yes, all right.
Watch out. That's the last step.
Yes, I got it.
We're in the kitchen now. Can you see anything?
No, it's too dark.
Stand right there. Right where you are and don't move.
Where are you going?
There's something I want to get before we leave.
Anna, please. What are you doing?
I've got it now. A knife. Here, take my hand again.
All right. A knife?
This way.
Oh, I don't think I can for a minute.
Come along, Helen. In a little while, it'll all be over. As we hurried down the path, I kept thinking of her there behind me. So frightened now. I had to keep myself from laughing out loud. It was really funny. She'd always been so confident before. At school and later at the parties we used to go to. She'd been the confident one, and I'd been frightened. While she slowly poisoned my life. While she quietly and deliberately stole everything I'd ever wanted. Even Charles. But it was different now. That must be the 2 o'clock local. On the other side of town. Yes. Which way now? Straight ahead. Through the grove of trees.
Anna, isn't here somewhere that they found that girl?
Yes. Why?
Oh, Anna, I can't go through there.
Helen, come along. Don't be silly.
Do we have to?
Of course we do.
Anna, what was that?
What?
Didn't you hear it?
No.
I was positive I heard something.
Now who's imagining things, Helen?
Oh, let's hurry.
No. We're going to stop here.
Stop. But why?
Can't you guess? Even now, Helen.
Oh, Anna. Don't.
She didn't make a sound. I think she'd fainted even before I struck. She died without ever realizing why I did it. I made the cross on the forehead with the orange lipstick. It seemed such a silly thing as I was doing it. But of course I had to. And then I dragged the body off the path and started home. At the railroad tracks, I turned south a few yards to where they crossed the river and tossed the knife and the lipstick over the bridge. And watched them disappear into the muddy stream below. Not that it was really necessary. No one would ever think of questioning me. They would all, of course, assume that the lipstick killer had struck again. And then suddenly my heart was in my mouth. From the path ahead of me, cutting sharply across the moonlight, was a shadow. The shadow of a man.
Can I help you?
I
didn't mean to frighten you. I just thought you must be in some kind of trouble to be out of... Oh, Anna. It's Anna Macaulay.
Charles. Oh, Charles, you did frighten me.
What the hell, if you insist on running around town at 2 a.m. in your night clothes.
Oh, Charles. Charles, this is really too much of a coincidence. Why, I didn't know you were anywhere near Boone Center.
Theoretically, I'm not. Just passing through. Business trip. Missed the 2 a.m. local. So I thought I'd kill the time waiting for the milk train by looking the old burg over again. What's your alibi?
My what? Oh, well, that's what I meant about a coincidence. I was looking for Helen.
For Helen?
I don't wonder you're surprised, Charles. But it's really very simple. First, there were these, well, what the newspapers have been calling the lipstick murders. I suppose you've heard about it.
I've read something about it.
Well, I suppose I was silly, but I got terribly nervous, living alone in that big house. I asked Helen to stay with me. And then in the middle of the night, she got frightened and said she couldn't stay another minute and rushed out to Judge Brown's house.
How typical of Helen.
Yeah, well, then after I thought about it, I got worried about her and went to look for her. But I guess she must have gotten there all right. I didn't find her anywhere.
You're not alone in that big house now, are you, Anna?
Why, yes, I thought you knew, Charles. My father died.
Oh, I'd forgotten.
Well, silly to be standing here, isn't it? You've got to wait for a train. Why don't you come back to the house with me? And I'll fix you some coffee or something. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes, that would be nice. That would be very nice.
I could hardly believe my good luck. Charles, of all people. It was as though he'd come back to me. Almost as though he'd known and come back to me just at the right moment. So there we were, making coffee in the kitchen, talking over old times. Oh, dear, where is that opener for the evaporated milk? I never can find it.
Oh, here. I'll open it with my knife. Just make a couple of holes in it.
My, isn't that a rather dangerous weapon to carry around just to make holes in tin cans?
Oh, it has other uses.
There we are.
That tastes good.
Charles, I was terribly sorry to hear about you and Helen.
Me and Helen?
That you separated, I mean.
Is that what you call it?
Well, She said that you'd left her.
Helen always had a quaint way of putting things.
Didn't you? You don't still love her, do you?
Love her? Didn't she tell you where I'd been?
I know. Yes, exactly.
I've been in a home, Anna. A rest home, as they call it. It was Helen who put me there.
Put you there?
I'm afraid committed is the word. See, Helen thought I was crazy.
Oh, Charles.
I only got out a couple of weeks ago. I imagine they're still looking for me.
You escaped?
I had to.
Oh, Charles, how dreadful for you.
As a matter of fact, I've been looking for Helen. There was something I wanted to give her.
But couldn't you find her?
No. I thought I had a couple of times. But it wasn't Helen after all.
What was it you wanted to give her, Charles?
This.
Lipstick?
Yes. A frightful color, isn't it? Orange. Are you sure you're not Helen?
I heard the doctors talking a little while ago. They say I won't live through the night. But I don't care. Oh, it's been such a glorious day. The happiest since I can remember. People have been calling on me whom I hadn't seen for years. They say I saved the town. I must have screamed. I don't remember. So they caught poor Charles. And for the first time in my life, I'm a really important person. I wonder when they'll find Helen.
Thank you, Ida Lupino, for a splendid performance on Suspense.
In just a moment, we will again hear from Miss Ida Lupino.
Gee, what a show. I was sweating and it wasn't from the heat either. What a show.
Hey, that's us.
Gee, that a fire.
Out of the way, son. Where's the fire, Mike? Well, it's 28 to May. They were out of here in 7 seconds. Almost before they stepped on the starter.
Mike sure wasn't fooling about those Autolite stay-full batteries, was he, Dad?
No, sir.
Talk about pistol pack in action. Switch to Autolite stay-fulls, and boy, you got it.
When your spark plugs stutter, now don't you try to putter. Switch to Autolite. When your starter's just a grinder, why, it's a battery reminder. Switch to Autolite. Keep your auto right. Just switch to Autolite. Autolite. Switch to Autolite. For spark plug life and action. For a battery whose attraction is ignition satisfaction. Switch to Autolite.
And now, here again is Miss Ida Lupino.
It's always a great pleasure to appear on Suspense. And as a listener, I'm looking forward to some outstanding programs on this new Suspense series with stars like Charles Lawton, Agnes Moorehead, Van Johnson, Madeline Carroll, and Ann Southern. And next week, I'll be tuned in to hear Douglas Fairbanks Jr. in a gripping suspense story entitled Deep into Darkness. I know you'll want to hear it, too, on
Suspense.
Ida Lupino may soon be seen in Darrell F. Zanuck's 20th Century Fox production Roadhouse. Tonight's suspense play was written by Robert L. Richards from an original story by Ray Bradbury. The music was composed by Lucien Moraweck and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. Next Thursday, same time, you will hear Douglas Fairbanks Jr. in Deep into Darkness. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lights out, everybody. 60, 20 is 80, and 20 is 100. Perfectly correct. $100 rental for 2 months. And now, as a matter of a receipt, of course.
If you don't mind.
Not at all, Mr. Cook. Do business in a business-like way is my motto. We aren't a very large firm, but service supreme is our motto. And now, what did I do with my receipt book? So careless of me. In this pocket? No.
Oh, any old piece of paper will do.
No. Here we are. I had it in this pocket all the time. I'll just sit down over there and write it out for you.
Well, darling?
Well, Chuck, it's simply unbelievable.
$50 a month for a furnished Grand Central Palace like this one. Beautiful. There's something wrong in the woodpile someplace.
Would you really think so?
Oh, of course not. I'm only kidding.
Well, this old house seems to chill me somehow. It's so full of shadows.
Oh, nonsense. You're letting the storm outside affect you. You're always afraid of lightning, you know.
There was a blinding flash just as we came in the drive. It illuminated the whole house. It seemed to glower at us, almost forbidding us to enter.
There you go, letting your imagination work overtime. At $50 a month, we're getting a marvelous bargain. I only hope Service Supreme over there gets a receipt made out before he changes his mind. Say, where's Billy?
Sleeping. Over there on the sofa.
Gosh, he made himself right at home pretty quick, didn't he?
Just after his papa.
What? No, that's libel. I never curled up on a strange sofa.
What?
Without at least 3 drinks and a proper introduction. Anyway, that's it.
Quiet. Here comes Service Supreme.
Yeah. Here we are, folks. Money receipted right and proper. I hope you'll be quite satisfied here. Quite.
Oh, I'm sure we will be. As you can see, our little boy has made himself at home already.
Cute little fellow. I do hope he'll be quite all right. Well, I must be getting along. Business, you know. Moving in at once, aren't you?
Well, we planned to...
Yes. You told me you were. Well, good luck and goodbye, Mrs. Crook. Mr. Crook.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, wasn't he in a hurry to get out?
Service Supreme until the minute the rent's paid, and then it's exit extraordinary. Well, I better go get the things in out of the car. Gosh, dear, I never thought we'd spend the summer in a mid-Victorian mansion, did you? Huh? Dear, I'm talking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why the pensive look? What are you thinking about?
Of what that man said.
What man? Oh, you mean Service Supreme, huh?
Yes.
Well, what pearl of wisdom did he spout?
Well, remember when he looked at Billy sleeping there?
Yeah?
He said, I do hope he'll be all right.
Yeah, so he did. So what?
The way he said it.
Go on. Say, you'll have to get some help in to clean up this place. Looks like my fraternity house used to after we threw a dance.
Chuck.
Huh? What are you staring at? Huh?
What are you doing in here?
Hey. Oh, boy. Fella, you started it.
What are you doing in here?
Chuck, he must be the caretaker the real estate man told us about.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You answer me. What are you doing here? Answer me.
Hey, Chuck, what's the matter with that man?
Hey, look here, old boy. You don't have to throw any catfits. We rented this place from Service Supreme. I mean, what's his name, Mr. Hawkins, that real estate man up in town.
Rented?
Sure. Here's a receipt. $100 for the next 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah, I know it isn't much, but it's all the fellow wanted, and so it's all he got. Of course, with all due respect to you, caretaker, you are the caretaker, aren't you?
Yes. I.
Oh, good. Then I can speak freely. As I was saying, the rental doesn't seem like much, but after all, big as it is, it's a pretty crummy old place.
Chuck.
Well, it is. That real estate fella said there hadn't been anyone living here regularly for 20 years since these people, what's the name, all died. Reynolds. Huh? What'd you say? What did he say, Ann?
I don't know, but he frightens me.
Reynolds, Mr. and Mrs. and Paula. Oh, Reynolds. Yeah, they're the people that lived here, aren't they? Mr. Who's this real estate said something about...
Get out of here.
Huh?
Get out of here.
Chuck.
You hear me?
Now,
Get
wait
out.
a minute,
Huh?
sir. Wait a minute.
Get out. Get out. You
Now,
don't
wait,
belong
now,
here.
we rented this place.
No one belongs here. No one.
And then now
Mine.
stop waving your
Mine.
hands around.
20
boy.
years,
Stop
mine.
it. will
Get
you?
out. Get out.
Say, what is
There.
this?
You all get out. All of you. This place is mine.
Oh, Chuck,
It's
wait,
mine.
stop.
Go ahead.
Wake
Go
up,
ahead. Go ahead.
Wake up, He's making enough
Yeah,
noise.
get out.
Now,
My house.
Forget.
It's mine. Nobody can come in here.
Oh, Chuck, he's sick.
Nobody.
Catch him.
Get out.
Hey, wait. Holy... Say... Well, brace up, old boy.
Oh, Chuck, he's not.
No, he's just passed out, I guess. Wonder where some water is. We got it.
Oh, he's coming too.
Holy smoke. I thought he popped a valve or something the way he was blowing off. Here, give me a hand. We'll put him up on the other sofa there. Here you go. Come on.
Take your hands off me.
What?
Take your hands off me.
Oh, now, look here. We just want to help you.
Your hands. Your hands off me.
Chuck, help him get out.
No.
Here, let me get you to a chair, you...
No. I am all right. I will live longer than anybody. You will have to get out. You will have to get out. No one must stay here.
Hey,
no one. Get out!
Hey,
get out!
Now, wait a minute. Well, can you imagine that, old duck?
Running off like that.
Boy, oh boy, did we get a bargain. A house and entertainment by a crack nut off for 50 a month.
Well, but why was he so furious?
Don't ask me. I'm no psychiatrist. Oh, well, let's not let old crackpot spoil things. I'll slip him a few bucks in the morning and he'll be all right. Now, let's wake that snoozing son of ours.
Look,
Huh?
he is awake.
Why? You little rascal, you. How long have you been sitting there watching, young man, huh?
A long time. Where are we, Dad? I'll tell you, Billy boy. We're in a great, big, beautiful house where you and I and Father are going to have a good time for the next 2 months. Isn't that good news?
Well, why don't you answer your mother, Billy? Aren't you glad we're going to be staying here in the country?
Dad,
Yes, son.
please let's get out of here. I'm awful scared. I wonder if he's sleeping.
I'll go see.
Be very quiet, Chuck.
Yeah, I will.
Well?
Like a regular chair.
Well, Chuck, get your voice down.
Oh, that air of ours is sleeping so sound it takes Susan's band to wake him up.
Maybe we should have let him sleep with us this one night.
And have him grow up into a lily that falls over at the sight of his own shadow? I know, Mrs. Cook. He sleeps in that room and likes it. Anyway, he's deep in sleep, so that's that. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Stretching out feels good. It's going to take at least 2 bands to wake me up tonight.
Did you lock all the doors?
Mm-hmm.
And the windows?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, now listen, honey.
Please tell me.
I am telling you. This house is locked up tighter than a hoosegow. Shutters, doors, everything. I tell you, if that crazy old coot decides to come back to continue his oration, you'll have to use a hacksaw to get in.
it was morning.
Hmm?
Well, you could sort of straighten things out with me. After all, he is the caretaker.
Oh, forget it. We rented the place from the regular agents, and if the old boy doesn't like it, well, it's just too bad. Now, let's go to sleep, huh?
But, Chuck...
Oh, Anne...
But I want to know.
What?
Well, why should he have gotten so excited? It's been worrying me.
I don't know. Maybe because he thinks we'll need more work.
20 years alone.
Huh? What'd you say?
Oh, I was just wondering why this place hasn't been rented or sold all these years.
I don't know.
Chuck, could it be?
What?
Oh, nothing.
Say, are you thinking of... Oh, that's nonsense.
Is it?
Why, sure. Just because a house is big and old and has been lived in for a long time doesn't mean that... Oh, I tell you that storybook stuff.
Chuck.
Huh?
Why did Billy say that he was frightened?
Oh, he's just a little kid.
Well, isn't it possible that young children are closer?
To what?
To things that aren't of this world.
Huh? And
Well, I was just thinking...
Well, stop thinking things like that. Of all the screwy ideas to get in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere. Now, come on. Go to sleep before you give me the jitters, too. Save the ghost talk for tomorrow morning when the sun's shining. It's a little dark and dismal, weird right now to be talking about...
Listen.
Music.
Oh, Chuck.
But it can't be. It's not a radio.
Chuck, I'm frightened. I knew something was wrong. I knew it.
Anne.
That old man was right. We shouldn't have come here. We shouldn't have.
Really
I know the music in the middle of the night.
Now, don't let go like that.
I'm scared.
Wait a minute. Stopped. So quiet now.
Yes. Chuck, did we really hear it?
I felt the floor vibrating. Like it does when the organ plays in church. Yeah. Oh, he's all right.
Billy.
Hello, Mom, Dad.
Billy. Darling, why were you laughing like that? Why, Billy?
Well, 'cause I've been having fun. Gosh, lots of fun.
Oh, a dream, son, huh? You mean you've been having a funny dream?
Gosh, no. Not a dream. Isn't my dad funny, old lady?
Oh, lady.
Huh?
Who did you say that to, Billy?
She wants me to go downstairs with her to listen to the music.
Music?
But I told her I couldn't go. Not unless you said I could go. Can I, Mom? Can I go?
Go where, Billy? Where?
Downstairs like I told you. With her.
Billy, listen to me. Who are you talking about?
Son? Answer your mother. Who are you talking about? Yes, and why are you staring at the foot of the bed? What are you looking at?
The old lady, Dad. Don't you see her sitting there?
Who's lady?
Son.
Gosh, can't you see her? Funny old lady. You can kind of see right through her.
cold, dear?
Yeah, a little.
Here. Let me get this around you, huh? Kind of a wind blowing in from someplace. You should have stayed upstairs.
No, I couldn't stay upstairs in this horrible bed.
All right, don't get upset again. Here we three are, and here we stay until daylight.
Oh, won't it ever get light again?
Oh, no, honey. Just a few more hours. Gosh, kids are wonderful.
What?
Billy. Look at him there. Asleep as if nothing had happened.
He doesn't know anything did.
No, lucky kid. You just wait until that old sun starts doing his stuff. And I'm going to turn this house upside down until I find out what's been bothering
Chuck,
me.
wait.
Huh? Did you hear something?
I don't know. I thought I heard something sighing as if... That horrible music again.
It's here. An organ right in this room.
Oh, Mother in heaven, where's it coming from?
I don't
Where?
know. I don't know.
Oh, I can't stand it, Chuck. I can't. Make them stop it.
Please, dear.
Organ's playing music.
Control
There's no one here. Can't
You
be
wake
playing.
up
Stop
the
it. Stop
boy.
playing that. Stop
You
playing
wake-
that.
There, he's up.
Yes, silly boy. Yes. What is it?
That funny music. Where's it coming from, Mama? From Mama.
It's all right, son. Nothing's going to harm us. Here. Come here now. That's the boy. Your arms close around me.
Won't it ever stop?
Won't daylight ever come?
I wish we wasn't here.
Chuck. It's getting darker.
Oh, it's all right. Just the dark before the dawn. You know.
Dad, it seems to be getting lighter.
And the music's dying away.
Yeah. Light. What a funny light. Anne, is there something wrong with my eyes?
No. I see it too.
Do you? The wall over there. A light. Green, isn't it? Glowing on it.
Oh, Chuck, I'm afraid.
We gotta get out of here quick.
Yes.
No, wait. That wall. The green light's gone through it. Beyond it. There's a room there now. A room.
Yes. Yes, I see it too. Oh, Chuck, what madness is this?
Mommy, what are you afraid of?
Anne, there's someone sitting in that room. In the green light.
Yes.
It's a girl. I see her so clearly. And yet, somehow it isn't real. Is it?
Look at the way she's dressed. So strangely.
So clear. And yet it's more like a picture on the wall. Not deep. The flatness of a picture.
Chuck, look. There's a man coming into that horrible light.
By George. It's him.
What?
Don't you recognize him? The old caretaker.
Yes.
Yeah. But now he isn't so old.
Get me out of here.
No, wait. We don't dare go. Not yet. Pictures on the wall. And yet not pictures.
He's going closer to her.
Yeah. I see it.
Hello, Paula.
God in heaven, he's talking. And yet he hasn't flesh. I know he hasn't.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Elvis.
She speaks too. Pictures talking. Is it? Am I nuts?
Yeah, Paula. I wanted to talk to you.
But you know, Mr. Elvis, and Mother doesn't like to have me talk with you.
Because I'm a simple man, eh? A gardener. A servant.
Oh, Chuck.
Don't talk.
Whatever the reason, Mr. Elverson, you shouldn't come here when Mother's away. It isn't right.
Your mother.
Mr. Elverson.
Yeah, your mother. I've got nothing, so I'm not good enough, eh?
Please go.
Your father, he promised me, before he died, he promised me in his will he'd give me money. Plenty money for all I did for him.
Well, I'm sorry he didn't leave it to you.
Your mother, though.
Don't blame her. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't in the will. How could she give it to you?
Your father, he promised me. Mr. Reynolds, he promised me.
They're the people that own this house.
And Mr. Hawkins said they've all been dead for 20 years.
It's no use, Mr. Elverson, talking about that again and again. Please go.
Oh, you drive me out too, eh?
Oh, please don't talk like that.
If I had money, the money your father promised me, you wouldn't tell me to go, would you? Maybe you would love me, huh? Marry me, eh?
Don't look at me like that. You frighten me.
That you could love me anyway, Paula Reynolds. I make you love me.
No.
Make you love me.
Leave me alone. Mr. Elverson, leave me alone.
You love me. I make you love me. Yes, I make you love me. Here, I love you now. I love you. Yeah.
The light's fading out.
And they're going with it.
Oh, what have we seen, Chuck? What?
Wait. The light. It's coming back.
Don't look, Billy boy. Here, darling, put your head against Mother.
And look. He's killed her.
Oh, Chuck.
Standing over her. That horrible look on his face.
Chuck. Another woman's coming in.
The mother.
He's turning toward her. Chuck, he's going to kill her.
I can't move.
I want to scream. I can't. Do something, Chuck. He's killing the mother. Killing her.
What can I do? I'm rooted here. I can't move. Gone. The light goes. And they go with it.
But we saw him kill them both. Mother and daughter.
Billy didn't see it.
No. No, he buried his head against me so tightly. But Chuck.
What's the matter?
Billy's asleep.
Asleep?
Yes. So quietly against me. Well, it's as if someone up there didn't want him to see that horror. Only you and I. Well, it's as if someone up there didn't want him to see that horror. Only you and I. Look, what was it that we saw? What?
Whatever it was, I'm getting out of here. Quick. Give me the boy.
Wait.
What?
The old man. The one we just saw.
The one you just saw what?
You killed him. How and why, I don't quite understand. We saw you kill them, mother and daughter.
Oh, you know.
Was it real? What did we see?
Yes. I killed them both. Yes. I killed them. And why not? The one gave me no love. The old one, no money. He promised me. But when he died, they gave me nothing. Yeah, killed him, yes, killed him. With my own hands, I killed him.
Stop the police!
Yeah. No police. There were no police then. There will be no police now.
But murder?
2 women. They know. I know. And now, you know. No one else will ever.
What do you mean?
You hear? They understand.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Night after night. Now, you know why I didn't want you here. Now you know why I must kill you.
Kill? That gun.
Yes, with the gun. Him, 20 years ago with my hand.
Well, you're crazy.
You with the gun.
Oh, Chuck. Chucky.
He's dead. I had my hand on the gun, and then it seemed to turn in my hand toward him as if someone...
I saw.
Billy, is he...
Oh. Still sleeping.
Sleeping? Through all that...
Blessed sleep.
What? The wall! It's falling out! Look! That's the organ. The organ that was playing. And the women. 2 women sitting at the keyboard.
No, Chuck, don't go any closer.
Oh, no.
Chuck, what is it?
No. No, I was wrong, Anne.
Wrong?
Not women. Not anymore. 2 skeletons.
Oh.
In dresses.
No.
Yeah. I understand everything now. He killed them 20 years ago. And then walled up their bodies in there with the organ.
But what we saw. The music. How could it?
And look.
They're crumbling.
Bones into dust. Huh. He's dead. Now they can have peace.
Lights Out, written especially for radio by Arch Oberler, comes to you each Wednesday from our Chicago studios. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Unsolved Mysteries. Out of deference to persons who may still be living, character names in some of these true unsolved mysteries have been changed. Whether the charmer, sinner it, or saint it, if folly grow romantic, I must paint it. One would almost think that Pope had written these lines about tonight's unsolved mystery, the romantic story of the Bandit Priest. scene is Monterrey, Mexico. The time, night. A moon-drenched night brushed softly by the slightest breeze, and the air heavy with the fragrance of many blossoms. The white moonlight picks out the patioed houses in sharp relief, leaving the narrow streets a maze of black lines. A lone rider, but with 2 horses, stops at the end of one of the streets and, keeping well within the sheltering shadows, makes his way to a patio wall.
Rosita. Rosita.
Who is it?
Need you ask, Rosita?
Ramon. Oh, you are so foolish to come tonight.
I could not stay away, Rosita.
But if they should miss you at the mission, you know what it would mean. They would kill you.
They will miss me in the morning, Rosita. I am not going back.
What is this you say?
I have left the mission. I have come to take you away.
Oh, but it cannot be, Ramon. Oh, do not ask if I love you. You know that I do, but we should be caught. We could not get away.
I have arranged it all. I have the horses. I have food for a long time. And when the search for us have died down, we can go to some other place. Or say that you will go with me.
Oh, Ramon, we should have waited.
Oh, wait. That is all we do. For more than 1 year we have waited.
Somebody's coming. Rosita, what are you doing? Oh, it is Ramon.
Ramon? Have you then run away from the mission, Ramon, that you come serenading in the middle of the night?
Yes, I have run away, Maria. I've renounced the church. I cannot go back. I will not go back. I've come this last time to ask Rosita to go with me.
And you hesitate, Rosita.
Would you go?
Me, I would do anything to get away from this house. Our father, he is old. He does not understand. See, I would go.
Then if you will go with me, I will go.
Perhaps Ramon would not like that.
Let us all go. Soon we will find a husband for Maria. We will be one very happy family.
But Ramon's hopes of an easy escape were doomed to disappointment. In these early days, the priests were powerful, and the following evening found Rosita, Maria, and Ramon hiding in a cave high in the mountains, watching the searching party in the valley below.
If they pass on, all will be well.
And if they do not, then what, Ramon?
Then we shall be taken prisoners.
I will not. Before one of them shall touch me, I will throw myself from the cliff.
So will I. It is death to go back. You know it, Ramon. Better to die here than...
One of them looks this way.
He cannot see us.
No, but he may see the opening of the cave.
If he should see and warn the others...
He must not warn the others. Both of you, get back in the cave.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to crawl out on the saddle of the ridge. If I think that he is about to warn the others, I shall silence him.
But Ramon...
Back, I say. It is his life or ours. Look, he is going to warn them.
That shot made Ramon and the 2 women outlaws. The necessity for food drove Ramon to play the role of bandit, and from the security of his mountain cave, he held up passing caravans. His fame spread far and near, and soon he was joined by other outlaws until a band of nearly 100 lived in the hidden valley. Keen-eyed sentries watched from the rugged crags by day, and at night the approach of a caravan was told in the ruddy flares of signal lights stabbing the velvet blackness of the sky. One night the quiet of the camp is broken by a signal flare at the valley's mouth. As if at a prearranged signal, the bandits mount their horses and ride down the slope.
What is it, Pedro?
A caravan, Ramon, and a big one. Over 100 mules and many horsemen. They come from the north.
To your places and quietly. You come with me, Pedro, and you on.
We'll be right back after this short break with more of this unsolved mystery. Welcome back. You're just in time to hear the solution to this unsolved mystery on When Radio Was.
Look, Ramon. The lights, you can see them now.
See, I see them. You, Juan, gather all the food that you can find. Leave them enough food to reach a town.
I understand, Ramon.
You, Pedro, see that the women are not frightened.
They are very close.
In a moment now, I will give the signal. Buenas noches, senor. You are in command here?
Si, senor Bandit. I am in command. And permit me to tell you, senor, that this outrage, you will be hanged for...
What you are, senor, will be changed to what you were if you do not show more command of your tongue.
Ramon, quickly, Ramon. Wealth untold. Gold.
Santa Maria. Church plate and bars of gold. A ransom for a king.
Millions of gold.
Yes, millions of gold.
But as gold often does, this gold changed the Bandit Priest. Its yellow glitter possessed him, body and soul, and day by day he ran his fingers lovingly over the burnished plate and the smooth roughness of the bars of bullion. From an easygoing bandit leader, he changed to a fiendish despot who trusted neither sentry nor listened to advice. When men crossed him, he shot them down. And at last, he set his few remaining helpers to pounding and powdering the marble rock to make a cement with which to close up the opening to his treasure cave.
Work faster! Faster! Faster, slaves!
Have mercy, Ramon. For days now we have done nothing but break stones.
And that is all you will do till you die.
But, Ramon, the opening to the cave is closed. No man can possibly get in. We have cemented the opening to a depth of over 70 feet.
Keep on, I say. The work is not finished till the mouth of the cave is smooth. Smooth, so that no man can tell there has been a cave there.
He is mad. I tell you, he's mad.
Please, Ramon, let them rest. They have been faithful.
You get tobacco, Rosita. There is only one master here. Back to your cooking pot.
But, Ramon...
Silence or I kill you!
Oh, we have done our...
Oh, Ramon, no! No, don't!
One by one, the maddened bandit shot down his comrades. The two sisters, Maria and Rosita, crouched trembling in the other cave till the fit of madness passed. But with the coming of sanity came the hour of reckoning. $7 million was more than Mexico cared to lose to one bandit, and Ramon, the bandit priest, fell beneath the fire of the Mexican soldiers who stormed the bandit camp. Rosita and her sister, pretending that they had been held against their will, escaped. For over 100 years, treasure hunters have sought the $7 million hidden in the sealed cave. Has it been found, or is it still there? In just a moment, you will hear a solution as to what happened to the bandit priest's treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, inasmuch as any solution must of necessity be supposition, liberties of time, place, and character have been taken with the solution for which you have been waiting. The story of what happened to the bandit priest's treasure is vouched for by Don Juliano Hernandez of Santa Barbara. The scene is just outside Mexicali, a farmhouse, and in one of the rooms a group of men sit talking earnestly. One, a young man, Pancho Villa, unknown as yet, shrugs his shoulders and waits for the murmuring voices to subside.
All very fine plans, but without money, what can one do?
We will get the money when the time comes.
Bah, you talk like a child. To free Mexico from these vampires, these bloodsuckers takes gold. Much gold. They are strong. They pay the army. We need an army. But soldiers do not fight on empty stomachs, and food costs money. Pancho, I know where there is much money. So do I, Gomez, in the banks. But to get it out is a different story.
But I am serious. Meet me tonight, Pancho, and I will tell you a secret.
Much against his better judgment, Pancho Villa went with Gomez. The story was so fantastic, but just enough possible to appeal to the desperate revolutionist that he gathered together 20 mules, and 1 week later found the two men standing before the sealed-up treasure cave of the Bandit Priest.
You see, Pancho, the old lady who told the story to my great-grandfather was the sister, Maria. Ramon made his treasure vault out of the cave that Maria and her husband had lived in before her husband was killed in one of their raids.
So far, Gomez, I am forced to believe the story. For here, as your map showed, is the sealed-up cave. But now, the other entrance.
Maria said it was at the back of the saddle. 2 or 3 smaller stones hiding one big one.
Gomez! Gomez, I believe you are right. Here's the opening. Oh, if only the treasure remains. I'm afraid to look.
Do not be afraid. No one knows of this other opening but me. Help me with the rock.
See. I can get through. I can get in. Now for a light. Santa Maria. It is true, Gomez. There is gold. Millions of gold. Enough to start a dozen revolutions. Mexico, you shall be free.
And so, 150 years later, the Bandit Priest's horde helped Pancho Villa to finance his revolution. But today and tomorrow, the lure of treasure trove will continue to draw the adventurers to Mexico to hunt for the 7 million hidden by the Bandit Priest.
For the radio program that has rated tops in popularity for a longer period of time than any other West Coast program. The mystery program that is unique among all mystery programs. And I'll tell you why. It's because you know who's guilty. You see his every move. You know his complete plans, even his innermost thought. Yet the final curtain always brings a startling surprise. In the Signal Oil program, The Whistler. That whistle is your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler.
The Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
Yes, friends, it's The Whistler. For the tops in entertainment, and for the tops in gasoline quality, it's Signal. It takes extra quality, you know, to give you extra mileage. And Signal is the famous Go Farther gasoline. So look for the Signal circle sign in yellow and black that identifies friendly independent signal stations from Canada to Mexico. And now the Whistler's strange story. Farewell Party. The
gay, laughing crowd at the steamer dock hardly noticed the young woman in the smartly tailored gray suit as she half ran up the gangplank under the glare of the floodlights. Outwardly, she appeared calm, in spite of the fact that the cold hand of panic was tightening around her heart. Julia Chandler shuddered slightly as she stepped on the deck. Julia had made up her mind. In a few minutes, she was going to kill a man. There was nothing else she could do, and it would be very simple. On the final blast of the ship's all-ashore whistle, she would pull the trigger. Then she would melt into the crowd and go ashore. The body wouldn't be discovered until the ship was at sea. As she hurried down the deck, the events that had brought her here raced through her mind. It had all begun that night a week ago at the Club Los Flores, where she was dancing with her husband's business partner, Ralph Ellis.
You know, of course, Ralph, that this is our last evening together.
Why, Julia, you surprised me.
Oh, no, I don't. Why do you think I've avoided seeing you the past few weeks? This sort of thing has to end somewhere.
Oh, I suppose.
Let's just say that we danced to Barney together, make beautiful music and all that, but, my husband is coming home.
Oh, he didn't let me know.
How inconsiderate. Once in a while, Bruce does put me before business.
Yes. And I'm still only a junior partner, huh?
Oh, yes. I'll try to do something about that for you.
Always good to have an in with a boss.
Naturally, you'll bear in mind that the boss wouldn't be at all cooperative if he thought that
I'm not a child, Julia. However, I don't think that even you can help me with the firm. I'm not sure I'm cut out for the work.
I'm sure you're not cut out for any work.
Always the sweet, gentle answer. Handle anything, couldn't you, Julia?
Perhaps.
I wonder, are you really tired of me? Or is it that restlessness of yours again?
I wasn't aware that I was restless.
Oh, come on, Julia. I know you better than that. You were bored with having no money, and then Bruce came along, and so you married him.
Oh, really,
But
Ralph?
then you found out that married life could be boring, too. And fortunately, I came along. Who's taking my place, Julia? Is it that singing teacher of yours, Gregory Blaine?
You're being very difficult tonight, Ralph.
Oh, and it is the singing teacher. What does he have to offer? A career, fame, or a more exciting romance?
If you don't mind, I want to leave now, Ralph.
You didn't answer my question.
I didn't have to. I told you. My husband is coming home. That's all there is to it.
All right, Julia, have it your way. But wouldn't it be simpler if I just dropped you at Gregory's studio? Julia, come in, my dear.
I'm sorry to make it so late, Gregory, but it was Ralph. I couldn't be cruel.
My darling, you couldn't be cruel to anyone.
No.
Come here.
Oh, Gregory.
Have you heard from your husband?
Yes, he wired me from Chicago. He's coming tomorrow. That's why I wanted to see you.
Julia, you're sure there's no other way?
Now, we've been all through that. What about the records we made?
They're right over here.
Oh. I see you've been playing them over. You all right?
Yes. Your voice, Julia, it is so improved. You sing with such confidence, full, rounded tones.
I don't mean the music, Gregory. The little record of our voices. Are they...
Oh. It will sound as if we're right in the room. Here, I'll show you. It's at the end of the song. Beautiful. Beautiful, my dear.
Oh, thank you, Gregory. You've helped me so.
Now, we will try it again.
It's perfect, Gregory. Perfect. Now turn it off.
And you still want to go through with it?
There's nothing else to do, Gregory.
No. Not unless you felt differently about the money.
I know what I'm doing. You'll need that money, you know.
Julia, I have enough for our boat fare to London, at least.
I have my reservation already, and once there I could give singing lessons.
You're going to give all your lessons to me. Help me study in London, Paris, wherever you think necessary. We'll be able to afford it, Gregory. We can even afford the fare.
Oh, that couldn't happen. Not with that voice in the proper
When
train.
it's all settled. When it's over, you can go on to London, just as we planned. And I'll meet you there in a month. Perhaps less.
Julia, you don't think that anything might...
Nothing will go wrong, Gregory. Nothing. You must believe that. We're going to kill him together. To be together.
I'll be waiting to hear from you, Julia. You don't have to come back again. Just call.
Gregory.
Yes?
Kiss me goodnight.
With the prologue of Farewell Party, the Signal Oil Company brings you another strange story by The Whistler. But now a prediction about a sight you're going to see oftener and oftener as the days grow warmer. Overheated cars parked at the side of the road to let their steaming radiators cool off. To make sure this annoying occurrence doesn't mar your summer driving fun, Signal service stations have 3 little items that will make your cooling system young again. The first is radiator cleaner to remove clogging sludge and rust. The second is rust preventive to protect radiators of old cars or new ones from further corrosion. And the third is radiator sealer that stops any small leaks in a jiffy. These, incidentally, are just a few of your Signal dealer's fine quality upkeep items that include Purolator oil filters, fan belts, radiator hoses, spark plugs, and, of course, Lee of Conshohocken tires, famous for 45 years as the finest of first-line tires. You see, Signal service stations are much more than places to buy Signal's famous Go Farther gasoline and Signal Premium Motor Oil. Wherever you see Signal's circle sign in yellow and black, there you'll also find complete, conscientious Signal service to help your car run better, look better, and last longer. And now back to the Whistler.
It was a long search, wasn't it, Julia? Trying to discover what you really wanted out of life. But at last you've decided, and it's quite simple. A career of singing, your devoted teacher, Gregory, as your husband, and the security of wealth that will automatically be yours with the death of Bruce Chandler, your present husband. It's all running through your mind as you drive home, winding up the steep grade of Canyon Road, maneuvering its sharp turns. You've always hated the big house on the hill, tolerated it just as you tolerated Bruce. But it's important now, isn't it? Desirable. The hill, the sharp turns over the canyon hundreds of feet below, the entire isolated setting. Yes, it's important, because it's a setting for murder, Julia. Your husband, Bruce's murder. You sleep well last night, relaxing completely, and then spend a long time before your dressing table in the morning. You want to look well for Bruce's return, as beautiful and disarming as possible. But on the way downstairs, you receive a shock. Voices, Julia, angry voices coming from Bruce's study across the hall.
Keep it from you, Bruce. What do you think I'm doing here? You knew I'd find out, that's why. I did not know. It doesn't make any difference. I'm through with you, Ralph, for good. Have you spoken to Julia about it? Not yet. Well, perhaps if the three of us talk it over. There's no explaining away this sort of thing, Ralph, not to my satisfaction. After all I've done, I wish you'd leave. Right now.
What do you plan to do?
I have very little choice.
I see. Well, if you won't listen, Bruce.
I've heard quite enough. Now, get out of here.
Julia.
I'm sorry, Bruce. I couldn't help hearing.
Look, Julia, tell him we've got to discuss it.
I
Tell him that...
said get out, Ralph. No.
All right. I'm going.
I don't suppose there's anything I can say, Bruce.
No. I've been a fool. Won't make it any easier discussing it with you. It's a mess.
Well, does it occur to you that you might be at least partly to blame? Away on business more than half the time, leaving the way clear for Ralph? Almost inviting him.
I said I'd rather not discuss it now, Julia.
All right. Are you terribly hurt, Bruce?
Not so hurt that I don't know what to do about it.
Well, I wouldn't be too hasty. You might regret it.
I'll decide that, Julia. I'm going into town, to the club. I want to think this out alone. I'll have dinner there. Talk to you when I get back tonight.
I'll be waiting.
About 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, Bruce. We'll talk it all out then. Gregory.
Julia, what is it? I didn't expect to hear from you.
Something's happened. I can't tell you now. But, my singing lesson?
Your sing? Yes?
It has to be tonight.
Tonight?
Yes, it's the only way, Gregory, to keep him from changing things. Will you be here?
What time?
He's coming home at 9. You better be here by 8:30.
But, I'll be there, Julia.
And bring the record.
Of course.
And, Gregory.
Yes, Julia?
It's going to be all right. You'll see. Everything is going to be all right.
You had to reassure Gregory, didn't you? Because he seemed nervous and worried from the first. You're not exactly at ease yourself with the demand for action thrust upon you so suddenly. You can't help wishing that Bruce hadn't learned about you and Ralph, that you could have arranged your own schedule. But life doesn't always go according to plan, does it, Julia? No. And as Bruce will soon learn, neither does death. You wait anxiously all afternoon. Promptly at 8:30, Gregory's car swings into the drive. A few moments later, you hear the maid answering the door, admitting him into the front hall.
Thank you, sir. If you'll have a chair.
Thank you.
I'll tell Mrs. Chandler you're here.
Who is it, Edith?
Mr. Gregory Blaine, ma'am.
Who? Oh, yes. Back here, Gregory. The piano's in the study.
Oh, yes, of course.
Edith, I really want to try and get something accomplished tonight. Will you see that Mr. Blaine and I aren't disturbed?
Certainly, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello, Gregory. Hello. So nice to see you again.
So nice to see you, Mrs. Chandler. Been practicing, I hope, in voice, eh?
Well, not as much as I should.
No, we'll see. I'm going to be strict tonight, make you work hard.
Oh.
I trust we won't be disturbed.
No, I've just been telling Edith here that we
Don't worry, ma'am. I'll take care of it.
Call me when Mr. Chandler gets in, of course.
Yes, ma'am.
So far, anyway.
Now, don't worry. Oh, where's the record?
Oh, right here. It's the little one that has
I know. I'll have to hurry. Remember the path I showed you?
Yes.
It leads directly to the road. You can intercept Bruce there. What did you bring? A gun. Oh.
It's just in case, Julia. That's all I would use it.
No, this has to look like an accident, like you missed a curve and drove off the road.
I understand.
You can go out through the window there, lead down to the terrace. And afterwards, get back as fast as you can.
The maid, you're sure she won't come? See that I'm not here?
She wouldn't dare. The records will be on. She'll think you're playing for me and talking to me. She wouldn't interrupt. That's what I said.
All right.
Say now, be careful.
Julia, you do love me. You wouldn't let me...
Gregory, go on. We haven't much time. You'll be at that curve any minute.
All right. Oh, and Julia.
Yes.
Well, after you phoned me this morning, I called the steamship line. I had my reservation changed. I'm leaving on the midnight boat tonight.
All right.
Under these circumstances, I think it's best this way. You understand?
All right, Gregory. We can talk about it later. Now, hurry.
It's underway, Julia. Your plan to eliminate your husband, the answer to everything. You watch Gregory climb out the open window and move off into the darkness. You stand there for several seconds, visualizing all that's going to happen. In your mind, you see Bruce's open convertible winding slowly up the treacherous road, stopping as Gregory steps out into the glare of the headlights. You picture the sudden movement as he strikes, and then you see Bruce slump over the steering wheel, Greg starting the car, and then letting it roll over the embankment. Yes, in your mind you see it all, Julia. But you have your own part to do. So you move across to the phonograph, set the record in place. Records of a few songs and a few remarks from Gregory as he accompanies you on the piano. It's going to be easy, isn't it, Julia? With no chance of you or Gregory becoming involved. You start over to the window as Gregory begins the introduction of the song and the record. You wonder how things are going for Gregory as you hear his voice on the record prompting you to begin.
Now a few bars more, and you will begin.
Bruce.
Hello, Julia. I've shut this off a minute if you don't mind.
What happened, Bruce? I thought you weren't coming back until...
9. I know. It just didn't take me that long to make up my mind, Julia.
Oh?
That's funny.
What?
The maid. She said there was someone in here with you. Must have been the record that told her.
Oh, Bruce. Bruce is...
What is it, Julia? What's the matter with you? Was there someone here? What's the big window doing open? Is there someone out there, Julia?
Please wait! Stay away from that window door!
For more than a minute, you stand there, frozen in the middle of the room, as your husband sinks to the floor. Without even going to him, you know that he's dead. That somehow Gregory has ruined everything, completely destroyed your pat little plan of an accidental death on Canyon Road. Worse, Julia, is the realization that you, too, will have to pay for the stupidity. Already you can hear Edith hurrying down the stairs. You turn toward the door and stop at the sound of Gregory coming back in through the window, gun in hand. There's still a chance for you, isn't there, Julia? And you're going to take it.
Bruce! Bruce, you shot Bruce! You killed my husband!
Julia!
Mrs. Chandler, what happened? I heard...
Oh, it's Mr. Chandler.
He shot him! Gregory shot him from the window!
Stop it, Julia! Stop it! You don't know what you're saying.
He just called the police. He killed him. He killed Bruce.
Why, you little double-crossing! Get out of my way!
He's getting away.
Stop him, Edith! Stop him!
I'll call the police. I'll call the police.
And that's all you can tell us, eh, Mrs. Chandler?
Well, there isn't anything else, Lieutenant. It all happened so fast. Edith, can you say that?
No, ma'am. It was just like you told it.
Uh-huh. Shot him from the window, you say? On.
He had left through the French door, sir. But he wanted to look at the garden.
And you and your husband stayed inside?
That's right. And then Bruce went over to the window, took the glass off.
And Gregory Blaine shot him?
Yes. He fired through without any warning.
Oh, have you any idea why he did this, Mrs. Chandler?
Well, my husband Bruce, he never approved of my studying voice.
Oh.
He didn't say anything at first. But after Mr. Blaine stepped outside, Bruce admitted that he'd seen him in town. Told him never to come out here. Oh, but to kill someone over a thing like that. No, it couldn't.
I don't know, Mrs. Chandler. Some of these musical guys are pretty strange. Well, I'll try to run him down.
And you'll start looking for him right away.
Sure. I'll start a full-scale manhunt if we have any trouble. Don't worry, Mrs. Chandler. We'll get him sooner or later. Then we'll have all the reasons.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Edith, when you show
Oh,
them...
never mind, Mrs. Chandler. I can find my way. My man in the car will take care of everything. Now, you'd better get some rest. You don't look so good.
But there's no rest for you, is there, Julia? Because, as the lieutenant said, when they find Gregory Blaine, they'll have all the reasons why. And suddenly you know that you've got to find Gregory first, Julia. Find him and kill him tonight. You glance at your watch. It's only 10 o'clock, 2 hours before Gregory's boat sails. There's still a chance you'll be at the studio apartment, isn't there, Julia?
Oh, what?
Gregory Blaine. That who you want?
Yes. Someone else been looking for him?
Mm-hmm. The police. They was looking for him. Oh, fine lot of sleep I'll get tonight. The police might as well move in here. Oh, but they won't get this one, because he won't be back.
Did he tell you that?
Oh, he didn't have to. You see, he moved out, paid his rent, took his trunk and everything.
Did you say where he was going?
No. That's what the police wanted to know, too.
Oh. They don't. They haven't any idea.
Say, do you know where he is?
What? Oh, no, of course not. No. Thank you. Thank you very much.
But you do know, don't you, Julia? And there's still time to reach Gregory before the boat sails. At the steamer docks, you check the sailing, drive down to Pier 29. There's a gay crowd of passengers at the gangplank, surrounded by friends who have come to see them off. You move through them unnoticed and go aboard, timing your movements so you can reach Greg and kill him during the last blast of the ship's whistle.
Oh!
Excuse me. Are you looking for a stateroom 2, lady?
Oh, no. I came down to see a friend. Excuse me.
Me, too. I've been looking for my friend at the fast there, and I can't find him. Old Charlie Beavis. You wouldn't be looking for old Charlie Beavis, too, would you?
No.
I can't understand it. Charlie promised he'd come down to see me off. Good old Charlie. Got to have a strong old Charlie before we send you there. And, say... You're a very pretty girl.
Oh, please. Perhaps he's waiting in your cabin.
Yeah, I thought of that, too. You know something? I can't find my cabin either.
Well, the steward, I'm sure he'll help you.
Sure, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to find an old Charlie. Say, you would like to have a drink with us, too, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't. Please.
Always nice to have somebody who comes out and say goodbye.
Yes, it is.
Well, I hope you find your friend, lady.
I will. Oh, I've got to find him.
The Whistler will return in just a moment with a strange ending to tonight's story. Meantime, since you're going to be passing a lot of signal service stations during your summer driving, I thought you'd like to know a little more about the organization that brings you the Whistler and the policies it stands for. First of all, Signal products have always been sold only through independently operated stations. The reason? Signal believes that a man who has his own money invested in his own business naturally has more incentive to serve you better. Secondly, because you want top-quality products for your car, every Signal service station is backed by an organization that serves almost 2,000 Signal dealers, with facilities to bring you every latest advance in petroleum science. Do drivers like this combination of Signal's personalized service plus fine quality Signal products? Well, just consider the facts. From a mere handful of dealers in Southern California, Signal has grown and grown. Until today, Signal stations serve 6 Pacific Coast states, from Canada to Mexico. For extra driving pleasure, extra performance from your car, why don't you too join the Switch to Signal, the famous Go Farther gasoline? And now back to the Whistler.
The gay crowd at the steamer dock was shocked at the news of the killing on board. They hung around the gangplank in little groups, whispering, trying to edge over and talk to the 3 passengers who had witnessed it, and then fell back to make way for the police as they led the suspect ashore and into the office of the dockmaster.
Oh, Lieutenant Skellig.
Oh, yes. What is it, Sergeant?
We picked up that singing teacher, Gregory Blaine. He was going to take the boat, too. Had a gun and a blackjack with him.
Oh, good. Take him down to headquarters. We'll get to him later. Meanwhile, I'm busy with our friend here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're Ralph Ellis.
Yeah.
Sit down, Ralph. And don't try to hold out on us. 3 people saw you kill Julia Chandler. Now, what was it all about?
All right, what's the use? I had an argument with her husband. We're business partners.
Had an argument.
Over her? No, nothing like that. It was about some funds, company funds I'd mishandled. He was going to turn the matter over to the police.
I see.
I was trying to get out of the country, and this was the first boat leaving. When I saw her coming along the deck, well, I figured she was after me, that's all.
And why should Mrs. Chandler be after you?
Because she must have seen me at the window a couple of hours ago when...
When what, Ralph?
When I killed her husband.
Let that whistle be your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, each Wednesday night at this same time. Brought to you by the Signal Oil Company, marketers of Signal gasoline and motor oil and fine quality automotive accessories. Signal has asked me to remind you, to get the most driving pleasure, drive at sensible speeds, be courteous, and obey traffic regulations. It may save a life. Possibly your own. Featured in tonight's story were Lorene Tuttle and Gerald Moore. The Whistler was written by Bob Gray with music by Wilbur Hatch and was transmitted to our troops overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. Remember, at the same time next Wednesday, another strange tale by The Whistler. Marvin Miller speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Creaking door. This is your host to welcome you once again into the inner sanctum. Come on in for the crime of your lives and meet one of the illustrious inmates from our Who's Who. This cadaverous cut-up is Mr. Seymour Blade. His wife had a tiff with him and punctuated it with a kitchen knife through the middle, which is, of course, one way of making your point stick. All right, then lend a ear now to some grim happenings and hear what kind of profit our star Boris Karloff from the role of Mark Devers reaped when he put up Death for Sale. The ashtray in the reception room is stuffed with half-smoked cigarettes. The disheveled man waiting paces his caged animal steps this way and that. Each second his eyes dart to the door at the end of the room, at the slightest sound. At last, the knob turns. The door swings wide open.
Well, Doctor, your wife is in pretty bad shape.
All right, this is my wife.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought, forget it. Bad shape.
But you're going to pull out of it, right?
Mr. Devers, she's not going to pull out of it? Well, it doesn't look as if she will. What? There's a chance. Only a very small one, but still a chance.
You're lying. She's going to pull out of it. She's got to.
We're doing everything we can.
Look, even if she has to die, you could pull her out of it for an hour, couldn't you? Just an hour so that she could sign something, and it means everything to me, Doc. You could give her a shot or something, couldn't you?
Good day, Mr. Devers.
I'll give you $5,000. Good. $10,000, Doc, and you fool, you don't understand. You've got to do this for me. You've got to, you... The doctor doesn't understand. He'd do the same in my case. So would you, so would anybody. $50,000. I was 1 hour away from $50,000. Money that belongs to me, my money that I've waited 7 long years for, and I won't be cheated out of it. 7 long years. It all seemed so simple then, so sure. We had a perfect plan for $50,000, and nothing was going to keep us from it, and nothing did. Up to 3 weeks ago. That was when Cora called me at the office. I just thought she was imagining things again as she had right along. I told her so, but she said no. This man was watching her night and day.
He is, Mark. He's outside the house right now.
Oh, come now, Cora.
I tell you he is.
Oh, you're just imagining things again. Why don't you try
I'm not imagining anything. He's right outside the house across the street, and
You'll be positive after 7 years?
I know I've been wrong before, but this time I'm sure Elliot's come back and...
What?
The doorbell just rang.
Who is it? Evelyn?
I suppose so. We're supposed to go to the movies together.
Good idea. Take your mind off believing everyone you see is Elliot Starr.
You're not coming home, then?
Not till I've finished at the office.
All right, Mark. Suit yourself.
Goodbye, darling. My best to Evelyn.
Mark? Oh, all right, I'm coming. I was on the phone, Evelyn.
Aren't you going to ask me in? Oh, of course. After all these years, you've probably forgotten who I am. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Elliot Starnes, your beloved husband.
Elliot, you're supposed to be
dead? Yes, I know I'm supposed to be, Cora, but as you can see, I'm very much alive.
I knew it was you this time. I know it.
I think you better ask me in, don't you? After all, it isn't very often that a husband comes back from the dead.
Back from the dead. That's what he was, all right. And when Cora called me this time, I didn't say I couldn't leave the office. All right, Cora, pull yourself together.
But, Mark, you don't understand.
Oh, yes, I do. You've been scared for the last 7 years, and you're going to go on being scared for the rest of your life.
He wants $5,000 more to disappear again.
Well, I didn't expect him to come back just to say hello. Of course he wants more money.
What are we going to do? He knows that we collect that $50,000 insurance money 3 weeks from now. He says if we don't come through with his $5,000, he'll go straight to the insurance company and...
don't be a fool. He's in this thing as much as we are. He won't do anything to spoil his chances. All he wants is money.
The longer he's around, the more chance we take that somebody might recognize him. Mark, we can go to jail.
We've waited a long time to get our hands on this money, and I don't expect to be cheated out of it now.
You're going to give him the $5,000.
I don't know. Maybe.
But
nothing. When did he say he's coming back?
Tonight. After midnight.
All right. I'll be here. We'll handle Elliot once and for all, and after this time, there won't be any coming back. I guess no matter how carefully you plan, there's always that one small thing you fail somehow to cover. 7 years before, I was sure we'd covered everything. And it was clever. Really clever. The law says that if a body isn't recovered after 7 years' time, a man is declared legally dead. So we found us a body, Cora and I did. We found Elliot Starnes and sold him on death
for $5,000. Sure, I'll do it. I'll marry Cora and then disappear. For $5,000, you can sell me on anything. He married Cora, and a little while after the policy was issued, his automobile was found at the bottom of Ridgely's Pond. The police dragged the water for days, but naturally didn't find the body, and the insurance people exercised their right to withhold payment till Elliot was declared legally dead.
I understand, gentlemen, and I don't even care about the money. All I care about is that my poor husband is dead.
It was clever, all right, and Cora put on a good act. We knew we'd cash in where others had failed because we weren't anxious. We were willing to wait for 7 years. And wait we did. It was a perfect plan. Nothing was going to keep us from it. Nothing except... Now, Elliot had come back. He swore he'd never return, and he'd gone back on his word. But by midnight, I'd made up my mind how to handle Elliot.
No, Mark.
The only way.
No.
The only way. This five that he wants, that's only the beginning. He'll hold us up all his life.
No.
He'll drain us dry of every cent of that 50,000.
I won't let you do
Yes,
it.
you will. We're in this far. You won't back down now.
I've got to. I never dreamed it would turn out like this.
Another few weeks and he'll be legally dead.
There must be another way.
Only this, believe me. And after it's done, it'll be you and me and nobody the wiser. Go on. Open the door for him.
What?
Order. Do what I say.
I can't.
You've got to.
All right.
I'll be inside. Tell him everything is set. Oh, Cora. Oh, won't you come in, Elliot? Thank you, my dear. Don't mind if I do. Mark here yet, Cora?
Yes. He's in the living room.
Oh, fine. Then you and Mark have agreed on the deal for me.
Yes, we have. Come in, Elliot. Everything's certain.
So Mark is waiting for Elliot in the, you'll pardon the expression, living room. Whatever happens to Elliot actually serves him right. After all, here in the Sanctum, we don't go for live people walking around as if they were ghosts. It's enough to scare the death out of her. Poor Cora is so nervous. She just can't look a corpus delicti in the prima facie. Well, enough grave philosophy. Suppose we let our star, Boris Karloff, take up our stock story where we left off.
Everything was set. I planned to kill Elliot with the knife I held behind me, and I felt absolutely no compunction about it. Oh, you're joking. No, Elliot. You're crazy. Cora, stop him. You'll never get away with it. Mark, no! I buried him in the back of the house. I say I did, because Cora wasn't much use to anyone that night or for several days afterwards. She got over it, as I knew she would. She got over it when she realized that I was right, that we had gotten away from it. And no one could ever know, and no one would miss him. She got over it when I reminded her that in just one more week, we'd be sharing that $50,000.
Just 1 week.
That's right, Cora.
I've been a lot of trouble to you these past few days. I am sorry.
Oh, forget it. It's all over.
Yes, it is. I'll feel a lot better when the money's actually ours. Somehow, way in the back of my mind, I feel that maybe we won't...
Look, darling, it's as good as ours now. There's nothing left in the way, not a single thing.
1 week.
That's all. Now, wouldn't you know? You expecting anyone?
No,
Evelyn?
not at this hour.
Well, whoever it is, get rid of them.
Yes, darling. I'll get rid of them. Yes?
Mrs. Stein?
Yes?
Mrs. Elliot Stein?
That's right.
I want to talk to you. Here's my card.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm busy right now.
You're too busy to see me. I can promise you that.
Oh, now, see here.
Nice card, ain't it? Real fancy engraving. Mrs. Elliot Starnes. That's right. I'm the woman Elliot married after he disappeared 7 years ago. Now, I don't think you're going to be too busy to see me after all. Do you?
Maybe it's fate. Maybe it's all in the cards. You work hard. You think out a plan that's letter perfect. Then up pops the unexpected, forcing you into the first desperate step to lick it. First Elliot Starnes himself, then his second wife that we didn't know existed.
And here's our wedding license, just in case you don't believe me. Here, you can look at it.
Take it easy, Cora. We believe you're his wife, Mrs. Starnes.
And he's got a birthmark?
We said we believe you. Now, what do you want?
Well, what does any good woman want? My husband.
And why come here?
Where else would I go?
I'm afraid we don't understand. Do we, Cora?
No, I'm afraid you do.
Now, look here.
I'm afraid you understand awful well. Elliot told me.
Told you what?
What you two were doing. He also told me if he should fail to come home after a couple of days.
Mrs. Starnes, we haven't seen your husband for 7 years.
Now, you don't expect me to believe that, do you?
I don't see why not.
I do. You see, Mr. Devers, the other day, with my own eyes, I seen Elliot walk into this house. But I didn't see him walk out again. What's the matter, Mr. Devers? You got nothing to say?
What do you want, Mrs. Starnes?
My husband, of course. Only since you killed him, I can't very well have that, can I? What? He's the only man I ever loved. And you killed him. I never should have let him come here. For days I begged him not to.
Mrs. Starnes.
I made a mistake letting him come here. I know that now. But I want him back. I love him and I want Elliot back.
You want your husband, Mrs. Starnes? Or a substantial sum of money?
Huh?
How much?
How can you talk about money at a time like this?
5,000.
I loved my husband, Mr. Devers.
7,500. Well, how much?
25,000. What? In cash.
Mark.
Let me handle this, Cora. And if we refuse?
Well, then I'll just naturally have to tell my story to the police.
Cora.
Oh, let's drop all the small talk, Mr. Devers. I want 25,000 and I want it fast. Now make up your mind.
I'll make up my mind.
No, Mr. Devers, don't get rough. I'm not as dumb as my ex-husband. I've taken steps against anything happening to me.
No, Mark.
Better listen to her.
You're not getting away with this.
Then you don't get away with Elliot's murder.
Oh, help me,
Before you put that hand on me, you better have your lady friend look out that window.
What?
There's a taxi across the street, Mark.
My taxi. And the driver knows I'm in here. You'll have to kill him, too. Elliot's ever-loving second wife is here to stay. If you want to get her out of your life, the cost is going to be $25,000. By this time tomorrow night.
After she left, I had some work to do on Cora.
It won't be the same way, Mark. Not another murder.
Said anything like that.
Promise me? Not the same way.
Sure, promise. After all, if we can get away with 25,000, is that so bad?
I'd rather settle for none of it.
Huh?
That money won't do us any good now.
Why not?
It just won't.
Oh, you're all upset. You'll feel differently day after tomorrow when you sign those papers in the insurance office and they hand that fat check over to you.
No, Mark. I'll never feel differently about it again.
I knew I couldn't work Cora my way much longer. But it was just 2 more days. 2 more days to get that 50,000. Just 2 things to settle in just 2 days. First, there was Mrs. Starnes. When she came to my apartment the next night, I handed the envelope over to her.
It's all here?
You could open the envelope and count it if you like.
I don't have to, do I?
And what if I cheated you?
You wouldn't.
I could always come back.
You could always come back for more anyway.
What do you think I am?
Doesn't make any difference now what I think.
Okay. No hard feelings.
There are, but they won't bother me for long.
Of course not. That money you're collecting will cure that.
I'll be cured before then.
That's your business.
It's yours, too, now.
I don't see how.
Now, do you see?
Put that knife down.
I will. Into you.
No. Don't. Please.
That door's locked. You can't get out.
Don't. You can have the money back.
There isn't any money in that envelope.
What?
Just strips of newspaper. Where can I get $25,000?
I don't care about the money.
I do. I cared about it for 7 years. Cared enough to murder once, and I can do it again. Now, Mrs. Starn, I've no hard feelings towards you. None at all. Just 2 things to take care of in just 2 days. The first, Mrs. Starnes was taken care of, and the second was now just an hour away. The $50,000 was waiting in the insurance office for Cora. All she had to do was sign her name on some papers to get it. Oh, you can imagine how relieved I was as I sat next to Cora when she drove to the insurance office. But it was different with Cora. Cora didn't say a word.
There's nothing left to say, Mark.
Oh, money won't make you talk, Cora. You wait and see. After you get your hands on the... Hey, you're taking the wrong street.
No, Mark.
Sure you are. This is the way.
It's the only way left for us, Mark.
Huh?
We're driving straight out of town. We're never coming back. There'll be no more murders.
Cora.
I know you killed that woman.
Now, where did you ever get that idea? I paid her and she left.
I was outside your apartment house last night.
All right. So you know now. What did you expect? I couldn't let it all go down the drain, not after 7 years? Turn the car around.
No.
You're going to sign those papers. I want that money.
It's too late, Bart.
Like what it is.
Let go.
You're turning this car around.
Oh, it's the wheel. Let go.
I wasn't even scratched in the crash. Cora wasn't that lucky. But I rushed her here to the hospital. And you heard what the doctor said.
There's a chance. Only a small one, but still a chance.
No, the doctor doesn't understand. There's got to be more than only one small chance. I was 1 hour away from that $50,000. Money that belongs to me, money that I've waited 7 years for, and I won't be cheated out of it. Cora's got to live. She's got to sign those papers. Well, Doctor?
There's someone waiting for you down the corridor, Mr. Deaver.
What about Cora? There's still a chance, isn't there?
No chance at all anymore.
You're lying.
The gentleman is waiting.
You're lying. She's not dead. She can't be.
The gentleman is from the police. She asked me to call.
It's a lie. She's not dead.
Mr. Deaver, try to understand. She is...
No! It's not true, and I won't listen to you. She's got to sign those papers. You've only got to keep her alive another hour. You're a doctor. You can do that.
Mr. Deaver,
7 years. Don't you understand? Oh, I can't let 7 years go down the drain. 7 years. It can't turn out that way. No. She's not dead. So Mark's 50,000 went down the drain after all. And Mark went down the hatch of the scaffold. You know, I can't feel sorry for Mrs. Starn. She should have known that a rolling widow gathers only mausoleum. Yes, sir, when you use a dead husband for blackmail, you're bound to end up face down. Oh, a footnote. When you're dealing with life insurance, remember, honesty is the best policy.
Well, friends, it's time once again to close that creaking door. Until next week at this same time, when we'll be back with a little hunk of horror. You'll be sure to listen, won't you? Sanctum has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.